Bogdan, what strategies and tactics you think had the biggest impact at the sales?
When strategy falls down into tactics, we found out that actually keeping an open mindset, prioritizing, pursuing what's important for our customers and adapting constantly while helping them to buy from us more than us selling them anything is the main way to go ahead. And all this in an entrepreneurial way, which means that we are always open and always on our tiptoes. That's why we say that actually flexibility is one of our most important characteristics, and we believe that it's actually what our customers are looking for. Another very important thing is doing business in a turnkey way. Turnkey means that we take full responsibility for what we commit to, and actually our customers really want to buy certainty and want to be sure of us holding to our commitments. It's always hard work.
We will focus on the sales process. How did you get involved in sales process improvements?
As I said, initially project managers were always part of the sales team. Later on, I just started to do sales because that was the need for our company at that point. And it's been me as an engineer understanding from both sides what needs to be done in such a way that we have better results. Next to this, I always was probably natural in understanding what customers need, so it was easy for me to take a responsibility and the role of being the voice of the customer in our company. I would say maybe this is one of the most important strategies that I have implemented in my job and in the way that we do business.
How did you manage and motivate the team in order to reach your goals if you say that you are the voice of the customer?
First of all, we need to make people happy. If you have people happy in your company, that means in the first place that they would also want to support their customers. Making people happy doesn't really mean anything else than just you need to create an environment of safety, of diversity, talking here about diverse experiences, of inclusion and acknowledgement. Once you have these things set, my experience is that people will start to look at growing themselves and to contribute more. Actually, this is what also Tony Robbins is teaching us. I really believe that these things are important because people are key, and me as manager need to make sure that we have this kind of environment for them to grow and to contribute in. And when I'm saying environment, I mean also culture, because culture is built through 4 pillars. What you say all the time and what you let the people know that it's important, and you express on and on, so it becomes like a theme. What you show them, because it's very important to have to be a good example to them. And again, very important is who you hire and who you keep on your team, because toxic people are the worst, and no matter how capable or how good experts they are, if they're toxic, they're much worse for your culture than anyone else.
How did you build a strong company image, and how would you describe your impact into developing relations with your customers?
I would always say that paying attention to customers and their needs, and also trying to find what's behind their initial request is very important, because customers sometimes either just don't know how to formulate their needs, or sometimes they don't really want to express their exact needs, and it's important to have both eyes and both ears focused on what they have to say, and then ask questions. It's important to ask questions to find what's really there, because business to business is actually about people collaborating, and that's how I managed to be the customer's voice in our company.
Would you say that you had to cope with challenges in your professional life?
Of course, there are challenges all the time. Nothing is as easy as it looks. It's always an iceberg, and the tip is only what we see, and the bottom of the iceberg is what we have to go through all the time.
You were talking about expectations of the customers.
Well, expectations are always something that you need to manage. It's important to align their expectations and also to align those expectations with your team's expectations, because everyone has its own image of what needs to be done on a project. I usually found out that it's my role and my responsibility, and I can contribute a lot here by trying to understand each side's point of view and then fill up the gaps.
We would like to find out more about your team.
It's always different, but actually the same challenges. Working with people is rewarding and challenging at the same time. People have their own expectations, people have their own life in their head, so it's highly important to understand them, even if though they are customers or employees.
How many people do you manage today? How many people did you manage in the past?
I manage different teams. I managed from 20 people teams, even down to 3 people teams. I would say that I like and enjoyed most teams made out of 5 people.
The best number, maybe?
No, it's not the best number. I just found out I'm more efficient like this.
And about the customers or partners, how many would you count?
I think I've been serving up to even more than 100 partners.
Great.
In more than 25 countries.
So now maybe it's time to tell us a little bit more about the latest company acquisition, and maybe after that tell us about how do you see the company's development in the future.
Our curiosity and desire to grow led us to finding and acquiring a company, as you said, and but as I said earlier, I'm in charge for Cogaion development right now, which we were lucky to find by the end of last year. Cogaion has vast experience in supplying equipment for pharmaceutical industry, especially equipment for purified water production and cold water for injectables. The end product is obtained through complex equipment, and it's actually pure water that can be used not only in the pharmaceutical industry but also for small nuclear plants or any kind of power generation technology, and it can be also used in hydrogen generation.
I know that you have a specific view about the company's development in the future. Would you like to share it with us?
Yes, our view is to have sustainable growth and to be able to face uncertainties with a strong team.
A while ago you mentioned that when a company grows, it could be stretched like a fishing net.
Yes,
please. I like that. Maybe
I see every system, every company just like a fish net, which is composed out of knots holding together the rods. And once the company grows, those holes in between the knots will always stretch out and grow. And if it stretches too much, then at some point it will not do its purpose anymore, and it can even rip off. So the most important thing is that's where you get those holes to put new knots in, and it's really important that those knots are fitting with the rest of it, and not only fit, they can bring added value through who they are and what they know and what they can learn and bring as a whole value to the rest of the fishing net.
We are also coping with the need of the future generation to be trained and prepared by our specialists.
Growing new colleagues, growing people is not just our need, but it's also our responsibility.